come to find out, where we was a drug area. So quite naturally, they thought that we was out there to get drugs, and I'm in a Mercedes. And I'm like, I can't step out because I'm paralyzed. So he's trying to figure out, well, how you driving? When he realized that he couldn't handcuff me to the steering wheel, because I'm like, what you trying to do? Now I'm like, what you trying to do? So he snatched me out, stood me up, and let me hit the ground. Your husband got busted with $4 million worth of heroin with your children in the car. He tried to pull the drugs out the window, and the drugs went in my baby girl's eye, and the drugs went in my baby boy's mouth. They tasted the drugs because he tried to get rid of it. This is Ann Mays, and I'm rocking with Video Wayne.
Another thing that's was amazing to me, and it's going to be amazing to people. But if you had to walk us through it, as far as how you drive.
Well, I drive with a hand control. I use my right hand to control the brakes and the gas, and I use this hand to drive with. So, and the hand control that I have is one that I ordered off of Amazon, so it's easy I can put it on myself, and I will show you how. In for the gas. When I first got in a wheelchair, and when I came home, I didn't know anything about a hand control. So what I was doing for years is driving with a stick. I was driving and I was saying, sit down. And because I had 4 children. When they told me I wasn't going to ever be able to walk again, I had to think about the things, well, how I'm going to do this. And I'm not a type of person where I like to wait on nobody. When I'm ready to go to the mall and shop, I'm ready to go. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to get in this car and I'm going to figure it out. So I thought about it. I got a broomstick, and I was like, oh, well, I'm going to do this. And that's what I did. If I can't do nothing else, I can think.
2 people are in custody following a chaotic chase through Jefferson Parish. Concerns over crime in New Orleans spilling into other quiet neighborhoods.
That right there is the sign entering into Jefferson Parish, to show you how close this is.
Well, one time I was in Jefferson Parish. It was me and the guy who I was married to. Called me up out of my sleep, asked me to come get him a ride. So mind you, I went to pick him up. So when I went to pick him up, I picked him up. So I'm at the red light. So when I'm at the red light, I turns off, the police turn. Jefferson Parish turn right behind me. So when they turn right behind me, they put the lights on. So when they put the lights on, I pulled over. So they asked me for my driving license, proof of insurance, and all that kind of stuff.
And during this, right, you was driving with the stick, or you had your hand?
I was driving with the stick.
The broomstick?
It wasn't a broomstick this time. It was another kind of stick.
Okay.
So they asked me for the driving license and all that kind of stuff. So they pulled him out the car and they started searching him and all that kind of stuff there. Well, come to find out, where we was a drug area. So quite naturally, they thought that we was out there to get drugs, and I'm in a Mercedes. So I'm in a nice Mercedes, but I'm in a bad neighborhood. So while they talking to him, I'm telling the police I'm paralyzed. And he was like, well, how you driving? And I was like, well, I'm paralyzed. So he was like, how you driving? So I never told him how I was driving, because I'm like, if I'm telling he started saying, well, how you driving? I say, I'm in a wheelchair, because he's telling me to step out at this time. And I'm like, I can't step out because I'm paralyzed. So he's trying to figure out, well, how you driving? But by me knowing I'm not supposed to be driving with a stick, you know what I'm saying? In their mind, they'll feel like, well, she driving with a stick. Well, what's, in their mind. But when some people are paralyzed, doesn't mean that they can't. Some people have different levels of being paralyzed. See what I'm saying? You could be. I'm a T7. A T7 is below the waist. They got people that's paralyzed from the neck down. They got people that's T9, that's T10s. And that means you can still use your limbs in certain areas. So at certain levels, like some people would be like, well, they're in a wheelchair and they can stand up, they can walk. their levels are different. See what I'm saying? So the police snatched me out the car. First they tried to handcuff me to the steering wheel, thinking I could take out and run, because my husband then took out and ran. So they took out, the other ones took out and ran behind him, but they got one that's trying to handcuff me to the steering wheel. And I'm started telling him I'm paralyzed. So he opened the door, snatched the door open, and trying to handcuff me to the steering wheel again. When he realized that he couldn't handcuff me to the steering wheel, because I'm like, what you trying to do? Now I'm like, what you trying to do? So he snatched me out, stood me up, and let me hit the ground. Let me hit the ground. And then they called for backup at this time. When they called for backup, they handcuffed me and had me on the ground. I didn't have my wheelchair.
Did he, at that point, did he recognize that you were?
Still ain't recognized, because the wheelchair is not in the car. I left the wheelchair in my driveway, because I'm like, I'm going to pick him up, drop him off, and come back home, not knowing that all this was going to take place. So the sergeant came out there, because I asked for a sergeant. The sergeant called me the N-word, and all that, put his feet in my back, kicked me in my back, and they beat my husband so bad, he had blood, instead of tears coming out his eyes, he had blood coming down his eyes. They had to rush him to the hospital. They took me to jail without a wheelchair. They picked me up and put me in a police car and brought me to Jefferson Parish jailhouse. And they charged me with resisting arrest. And once they realized that I really was paralyzed, they dropped the charges.
First thing that came to my mind is lawsuit.
Well, we did have a lawsuit. We had the lawyer, Martin Reagan. He got the charges dropped on me. But by my ex, being an ex-convict, or whatever, you know, he'd been in jail before. So we did have a powerful case. I talked to Internal Affairs. They know this happened. So the lawyer, after a couple of months, after he won the case, he said, I'm gonna deal with this, then I'm gonna deal with the civil part. But evidently, he lied to us and told us he was gonna deal with it. A year later, he didn't deal with it, and it was too late.
You talking about the lawyer?
Yes.
He probably was paid.
And he passed away. Martin Reagan. He passed away.
Because you talking about power. You say what parish was that?
That was Jefferson Parish.
Oh, yeah.
That was Jefferson Parish.
Yeah. He probably owed a favor, had some fear or something, you know, for him not to, especially if he paid for it. You know, if you guys paid
Right.
good money for him.
And then look, the same officer, the same officer who beat me 2 years ago was charged with murder of another guy. And it was on the news in Jefferson
And he's
Parish.
arrested for it.
And I posted on my page. He was arrested for it.
It was a point that you were in jail, and then your husband, who married the woman who shot you, right?
Right.
The court awarded him the children.
No, I wasn't in jail then. I wasn't in jail. It was like we was going through. He filed for custody of my children, right? Mind you that he had more money than I. Now don't get me wrong, he always been a good father. But the last straw was, you done did everything it is to me. The last thing you should want to do is take my kids, because I felt like outside of God, that's all I had was my kids, me and my kids. So the judge was like, well, since you had a house fire, I'm going to take the kids from you temporarily, place them with their father. They asked him, they said, was she unfit she unfit? He said, no, she not unfit, but I just feel like I could do more for my kids. So the judge said, I placed the children in the hands of their father. That I felt like that was the worst day of my life. I was so angry. I was angry at God. I was like, God, this is all I have besides you. I was like, God, why would you let him do this to me? This is my children. He already been married the woman that shot me. You know, every time you see me, they always doing little evil stuff toward me and stuff like that. So I was so angry and so bitter and so mad after that happened. So we get on the elevator. He walk out there with the paperwork saying that he have custody of his children, civil right custody of his children. So he takes and leave with the children. So I had a friend, and my friend called me. He was like, "You been through all that or whatever. Let's go to the movies or something." And I was like, "Well, all right, yeah, let's go to the movies." So when we get out the movie, I get a phone call. Now this the FBI agent calling my phone. But what they said, we need you to come and get your children because your husband got busted with $4 million worth of heroin with your children in the car.
Damn, that's a lot.
That was 4 hours later.
4 hours after
4 hours.
leaving the court.
4 hours later, after leaving the courthouse, they called my phone, told me to come to I-10 Service Road to get your children because he got busted with the children in the car, and they said he tried to pull the drugs out the window, and the drugs went in my baby girl's eye, and the drugs went in my baby boy's mouth. They tasted the drugs because he tried to get rid of it. Yeah. And then, so that night, I didn't get my children back that night.
Wait. So you get the phone call, wait a minute, you get the phone call, they tell you come on to the service road.
Right. By the time I get to the service road, they gone. They left with my children.
Oh.
I couldn't just take my children because he still had custody of them. So when I went the next day, I went to the courthouse and he had to give me all my rights back to my kids because he hadn't took my rights away from me. So I said that to say no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And he said, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm.
And so what happened with him after that? Once he, did you get a chance to speak to him before?
No, well, you know, once they took him in custody, it's no way we could talk about anything. I wasn't too concerned about talking to him. I was so caught up in my feelings because now you got my children, and you know, at the end of the day, I felt like you should have had more respect for me and your children, not to have that's his only biological children. That's his only son, his only daughter. In no way possible they should have been involved in that.
Did he get extra charges due to the children intaking some of the drugs?
I don't think they charged him because that was his children. He endangered his own children. But they did ask for my children's social security number to find out did he have anything in their names and stuff like that because he just had a $500,000 home in New Orleans East.
He out now or he still?
Yeah, he out. I think he done like 12 years and he came home. Yeah.